everyone, welcome to the next video in this Ivy and the Inky Butterfly series using Castle Arts Botanical pencils. We have a really cute bee to colour today. I'm just having a look and trying to decide which bits might be black, which bits might be yellow. I like a stripy bee. I'm thinking maybe the crosshatch bits are supposed to be black, so maybe we'll start with those actually. Now I've got a bit of an outline on the bee, on the different bits. I might just ignore that and just colour the stripes. I think that's how I'm going to do it. So I've got my ivory black. I brought my dowel sharpener in today so that if I do have a pencil break, I can have a go at sharpening it. I'm going to fade this down as I go and leave a bit because I'm going to use a bit of grey as well. And just move towards the centre and the bottom one. So it's okay to put a lot of layers on the edge. You get quite a contrasting colour then. And they are generally black, not grey, but I'm just using two colours just to, because it's quite a large area. So if that's this bit, I think I might colour this swirl like this, and maybe we'll make that bit grey. Just do this bit a little bit differently. And then we've got these eyes. I'm going to do those black, and I want them to be really black like that, but I'm going to leave a light bit in the middle like that. Hopefully they look a little bit more rounded. Had a delivery just before lunch. It was our Juliet balcony railings. I've spoken about it in a previous video, that on the front of our house we have a set of French doors on our first floor and second floor. I'm trying to make it a little bit lighter towards the middle. And we have these French doors, and so they have these sort of railings so that you can lean over or lean out and essentially don't fall out. And we'd had them taken down to be treated essentially because they were a little bit, well, they were a lot rusty, paint peeling, etc. They look very nice now they've come back. Here's the Paynes grey. I'm going to do the inside of here. I might just do a light layer and see what it looks like, because it's a bit of a different bit, isn't it? And a bit in there. Let's make that bit a bit darker. There we go. I think that's okay. And then on this bit I'm going to go over the black. Now I want to make sure that I take the black all the way up to the edge of here, but down here maybe that should be yellow really. As long as you're consistent, it doesn't really matter. My son's just started streaming. He's streaming a lot in these holidays, so he's going to be busy on his Minecraft channel. His if you know anyone that likes Minecraft, you know, your kids, grandkids, you, whatever. His channel, there's a link to his channel. Well, it's both my son's channel actually, on my front page of my YouTube. So you can go and be nosy, see what he's up to. Okay, so for the yellow part, I want two shades of yellow. Let me think. I think I will use the ochre and the cadmium. So I'm going to start with the yellow ochre and use that on the outside edge, making it more intense right on the edge and less towards the middle, just in the same way that we have done with the black, keeping it nice and straightforward. Now this one's slightly more rounded. It shouldn't matter. We just have to work our way around these wings. I like how this bit's the heart shape almost, little dip. Like that. Okay, and then I'm going to use the cadmium yellow I'm going to go right over the top again. The cadmium yellow is more vibrant, so it's quite nice to sort of brighten it all, and it helps it blend in. That's nice and bright. And all towards the middle. So my nice new railings are sitting in the garden though, they're going to be fitted tomorrow. Because the person who does the spraying doesn't do the fitting, but he was able to put me in touch with someone who could, so it all worked out very nicely. And yeah, it cost a fair bit of money, but I hope it's worth it. I decided it's worth taking the risk. I want the house looking nice. I feel like now we've paid our mortgage, we've got a little bit more money each month, which we're no longer spending on the mortgage. This is Paynes grey. So, I am going to do the very outside first in a medium pressure. So not really, really dark, but just to create a slightly darker frame around the wing parts, I think. So it's nice to spend a little bit of money on the outside of the house as well, but on different bits. So we did our kitchen, obviously, that was our big expense. And now we're doing, the husband had some inheritance too, so early inheritance I should say, and so he could use that, which we were very, very lucky, very fortunate. And his father, who gave it to him, took a great interest in the project too, and I let my husband do have the final say on everything because it was his money really. But I'm very pleased, obviously, with my new kitchen. There are a few things that aren't 100% brilliant, but I think there always is going to be. But mainly, I'm really pleased, so that's good. Right, we have a frame, we have a background to think about. Now, the background, we have the line that goes all the way around everything, and it isn't joined up here and here, so I'm going to have to draw that in. Yeah, so I'm going to procrastinate doing that while I'm going to do this framework first, just because I don't know what colour. I mean, a sky colour would make sense, but we did that up there, so we want something different. Could do it green like a leaf or something. So I'm thinking, what should we do around here? Down here we've got jewels, so I want to avoid the jewel colours, which would be sort of reds and purples and pinks. So I'm thinking maybe we should do blue. We've got a lot of blue going on up there, so no. Maybe we've got a lot of green as well. Got a lot of everything going on, haven't we? That's the thing with the limited colour palette. You tend to use everything. I'm going to go with a light yellow background first. She's made a decision. Is that the golden yellow? That's different to what I used for the acorn. So I'm going to use that for this background here. So I am going to do this bit first. I'm just going to draw that in there and there. You could use a ruler, just line it up with those lines, but I have just done it off my own back. It's definitely a different colour to the other yellow. So we're just going to put a light yellow background in. I think the bee will show up quite well with this one. Then I know what I'm going to do with those swirls. We'll do them in browns because we're not going to use browns for our gemstones, so that's it. And we haven't used browns above either, so there we go. See, I knew it would come to me eventually. To have trust in your brain. Mine's often foggy. My memory's not so good, and I'm hoping it's menopause and that it'll all clear. It's not worryingly bad anyway. And I think we do forget things, and some things I don't remember. I wonder if I ever did. Do you know what? When you're sort of reminiscing with family and they go, "Do you remember this?" And I'm thinking, no, but I wonder if I ever had that memory. I mean, I did it, but I might have lost that memory really quite quickly, because we can't remember everything we did in every second of the day, can we? That would be just a bit overwhelming, wouldn't it? Yeah, I've missed that bit in there, haven't I? I don't really know how it all works. I studied the brain when I studied psychology, but the memory studies were all quite theoretical, you know. So I don't know. I'm just trying to tidy this up a bit. I think we're okay. I think we're there. So browns. So we used the yellow ochre, but we probably don't need that. Let's go for our burnt umber first and do a few, I know this bit. This needs to be, I think, sort of quite dark and defined because it's the sort of border. So we'll start with that. And then I'm thinking about things and not talking. It's very naughty of me. I've been recording a lot today and I sort of run out of things to say a little bit, so I need to probably make this my last video. Go and do some editing. What I was actually thinking about was, I just had a conversation with my mum and saying, oh my goodness, this is raw umber. I'm going to do every other bit in this. It's going to look stripy, I think. But we'll see. I'll decide as I go. So I said, Wimbledon starts next week. And I was like, I'm not going to have time to watch it all, you know. My dad's like, why don't you record it? I was like, well, I can't because it's on from 10:30 in the morning. I think this whole section has to be coloured in as a block because that's where it starts, but then it just leads into all this. It's on from 10:30 in the morning till about 10 o'clock at night. So how could I possibly rewatch anything I've recorded? Because I'd be watching it. I often have several screens on at once as it is, because there are often several matches on that I want to watch at the same time. The BBC is very good with their Wimbledon. It's the only tennis match we get huge coverage of, and they usually have a camera on every court, so you can just pick which one you want to watch on their website, and you get very spoilt. It's very good. But I've noticed that the first match doesn't actually start until 11, and play doesn't usually start till 15:15 because the court opens, they have to get there, they have to do their warm-up and all that. And also, if it's a 5-set match, which they quite often are, they do tend to go on a bit. So might not need to watch the very beginning. So I think I'm going to sort of have to just do the afternoons, and that will suit me because that's what I normally don't record in the afternoons. Now, I've done that one. If that and that is a different colour, what colour is that? I'm thinking maybe this one needs to be the same colour, the swirls, and this one. And then these bits can be the slightly lighter colour. So yes, so I'm sort of planning my TV viewing. Wimbledon is the most exciting time of the year for me. I really like it. I like the early round matches when you get a lot of British players playing. Because it's hosted in Britain, we often give wild cards to our younger or less capable players, and it can be quite fun to watch them and see how well they're doing. So there's that aspect of it. And then once they get knocked out, there's the Terracotta Light, which is very often in the first week. Then you start to sort of concentrate on the more experienced players and watching their matches. Of course, Britain used to have a very good player who became #1 in the world, Andy Murray. He's playing. He'll probably get through a few rounds because he's come back after injury, etc. He's playing a Brit in his first round, so we'll have a Brit in the second round, at least one. And then we've got 2 seeded players, so we'll see how well they do. But yeah, I tend to find that towards the end of the second week I get a little bit bored because the matches are so long, and so maybe I'll be tennised out by then, but I do like to watch the final. And I often colour and watch, so I used to sit and watch the whole thing from beginning to end, just sit on the sofa, do nothing but just be glued to watching it. When I was at university, because it was in the holidays, I had nothing else to do, I'd just sit and watch. It would be amazing. But nowadays, when you're grown up, it's not easy to find the time. There are chores to be done, there are children to be looked after, there's exercise to be done, there's all sorts of things. But our bee is finished anyway. So there he is, and I'm going to go and have a break and, as I say, do some editing. And yeah, we'll do a bit more of this series tomorrow. I expect I'll record a few more. But for now, thank you so much for watching. Have a super day and happy colouring.